beginning of an era that feels just like yesterday.
I, Dr. Alex Otti, OFR, do solemnly swear that as the governor of Abia State, I will discharge my duties to the best of my ability.
The genesis of a new dawn.
By the end of this year, every outstanding salaries and pensions would have been defrayed.
The administration of the governor of Abia State, Dr. Alex Otti, hit the 100 days mark on the 5th of September 2023.
I want to reassure you that we are going to run an open, transparent, and accountable government.
With great position comes great expectations. Join us for a special 100 days in office discussion. Time is 10 a.m. prompt. Exclusive to Flow 94.9 FM.
Well, it is still in the series of the 100 days in office of Governor Alex Otti's administration. Like I told you last week, it will continue this week. And with that particular mindset, this particular government has showcased various achievements he has been able to do or achieved and the roadmap to develop Abia State. Well, that was from the government angle, but we will also hear from the opposition whose input are needed to check the government in power to ensure it does the right thing. On the platform this morning, we'll be speaking with a former commissioner for information and also a former commissioner for trade and investment here in Abia State, Chief John Otti. He is a member of the People's Democratic Party. He's already in the studio. You'll meet him shortly when we come back from the political update. Stay with us. Well, thank you so much, Wisdom, for that update. Welcome back to the program. It's still the platform, the pinnacle of all discussion. Like I told you, it's still the series of a review of the 100 days in office of Governor Alex Otti. My name is Ginika Oluoha. Welcome. Well, I introduced my guest earlier on, and he is Chief John Otti, a former commissioner here in Abia State, also a former commissioner, trade and investment, and a member of the People's Democratic Party. Good morning, Honorable Commissioner. I'm sure I'm supposed to call you that.
No. Honorable former commissioner.
Okay. The Honorable will always be there.
You can also remove that. My name is John Otti, so you can call me Wandubo.
Wandubo. Welcome. It's been long. The last time you were here, you were in charge. Today you are here. Are you still in charge?
I'm in charge of my personal affairs. I'm in charge of my wife and children.
All right.
But I'm happy that the man who is there right now in information, and even the man in trade and investment, those are gentlemen. I like them.
Okay.
I like Oke Kano because he's a gentleman, and I think he will do well. I also like the man in trade and investment. I've not seen him. I've never spoken to anybody in either of those ministries since I left because I wanted them to have time and space to review me. Of course, I know they are doing that, and I want to see how the review will go.
Okay.
But I like the individuals because they seem to be level-headed. They are not very rancorous people. They seem to be focused on trying to build the system as they should.
Okay, now let's look at 100 days in office of Governor Alex Otti. Let's start with the area of healthcare in the state. The Honorable Commissioner for Health was here. That was last week, and she said a whole lot as to what they've been able to achieve. First, she talked about the issue of collecting tuition free of students at nursing and midwifery school. They've started the collection of tuition free by hand. I think they used to do it. You pay direct to somebody, and the person will just hold the money instead of going to bank and make the payment. He said they've stopped that. That's what she said. And the other refurbishment in some of the healthcare institutions we have in the state. Talk about Amachara General Hospital as well as Mikio. What's your reaction on that?
Thank you very much. Dr. Ngozi is my sister. We are from the same area.
Okay.
So I have nothing personal against her. I'm comfortable with her being Commissioner for Health. And I want to say that even though she may not have direct medical experience, I want to believe that she will do well. And I wish her well. You said They have done. They have started a new payment process in Amachara and all that. That's good. I approve that. Whatever you do to make sure that government revenue is intact and in government coffers, I support that. But for me as a person, when I want to assess your first 100 days, I want to look at what exactly you promised and what you have delivered.
Okay.
Dr. Alex Otti promised us that he will set up 3 new general hospitals. You, in fact, I remember listening to that particular interview, and you asked about it. And now you have said that instead of 3 general hospitals, what we have is a refurbishment of Mekyo. Mekyo is Abia State Specialist Hospital in Omoahia, not here. And then the refurbishment of Amachara, also in Omoahia, not. Both of them are in Omoahia, not. And both of them were functional facilities that were taking patients and treating them. Now they have refurbished, or rather improved it, whichever way. That is not the promise made. It's outside the promise made. The Dr. Alex Otti kept on saying, I will commission 3 new general hospitals. He failed 100% because he didn't commission any.
Did he say that he was going to do that in his first 100 days?
In his first 100 days.
Okay,
emphasis on 100 days. He said, in my first 100 days, I will commission 3 new general hospitals in the 3 senatorial districts, 1 each. Right? And now, here is my sister saying, we have done this in Omoahia North, we've done the other one in Omoahia North. Omoahia North is in Central, and I remember you asking about our place in Abia North. What did she answer? She said insecurity. And I'm wondering, that location you mentioned, that is the psychiatric facility where you train nurses, right? Am I correct? When did the local government where she's from become so insecure that government cannot work inside a fenced facility? How can you do this to the people of Abia North by saying there is insecurity that stopped you from working on that hospital? You can find other excuses, but not security, my sister. And then you asked about Abia South. And the location she mentioned is in Ishalangwa. Ishalangwa is in Central.
He said Abai.
Abai.
Yes.
Abai. That means they have gone to the primary health care center done by Ikpazo. That's where they want to refurbish and put their cottage hospital. Abai. So you see, some of these things are issues of government honesty to the people. When we come to review the government, people say, oh, you shouldn't review them. It's just first 100 days. They met all kinds of challenges when they were coming. The same people in same breath will be criticizing or reviewing Tinubu. The same people will review Tinubu. And we are not even being malicious. We are even reviewing against what you promised and against what your predecessors in office did. And people feel we should not do that. If government made a promise to the people should expect that that promise will be kept. So on the issue of healthcare, I am sorry that what she could have done, the value that is more profound, she could have added, was to functionalize the multi-specialist hospital in Aba. That multi-specialist hospital was done with taxpayers' money. It is not the personal property of Dr. Kezi Ikpazo. It belongs to the people of Abia State. Why are you abandoning it to rot? Why don't you functionalize it? Because it will solve more problems than what you even did at Amachara or what you did at Mekyo. But because of the pervading maliciousness in government, anything about Ikpazo, we can't touch it. You have a new government house in Omoahia here. If you don't like the standard, like I heard that the man said that it is below his standard, go there and make it up to your own standard. If there is no office for your deputy or for anybody, there is still space there. Construct new offices instead of throwing away our money. Now, here is something I want to tell them. And Genika, you can replay this for them to hear. Every single state executive council meeting held in Ishalangwa is null and void.
Why do you say that?
Because the law provides that government business must be conducted in government house. It is for the same reason that you cannot go and sit down in Abreba and impeach the Speaker of Abia State House of Assembly. You must do it within the precincts, the premises of the State House of Assembly. Well, there is a reason why we insist that government business should be done in government
September house. 2023.
One, as somebody who has sworn oath of office, it includes the oath of secrecy. Now, you also will need to be transparent. You cannot abandon the government house in Omoahia and go and hold the executive council meeting. People will ask, didn't predecessors do that. Ikpeazu never did that. Ikpeazu would rather go to Aba Lodge. Aba Lodge is government house. I don't know if you understand me. That's the difference. Even when Ojuzo elsewhere, he had meetings in Ibere, but he would never host State Executive Council in Ibere. So let me say that every single decision of the Abia State Executive Council made in Isialangwa, vis-a-vis what they call State Executive Council, is null and void and of no effect. If they want to try that, let us test the law. I'm prepared to sue them so that they will see it. But if they correct themselves and bring back those meetings to a government official facility, to God be the glory. After all, I don't want to disrupt any person.
Well, Chief, you know that at some point they will say that the governor or the president can rule the country or the state from any part of the state or the country.
So
if Isialangwa is supposed to be part of Abia State, so if you make decisions there, is he out of it?
No. The decision you are making is State Executive Council. State Executive Council proceedings are guided proceedings. Do you know that a chief of staff who is attending a State Executive Council does not have the powers to speak at that State Executive Council? That whatever he says is not part of the decision. He cannot vote. It's a guided proceeding. You can have the SSG in that meeting, but only the commissioners who took oath, the double oath, oath of office and oath of allegiance, can effectively vote. Commissioners, deputy governor, and the governor. They are the ones under oath. Those other appointees are seen in law as personal staff of the governor. The chief of staff is his personal staff. The SSG is also seen in that direction. Unless you pass them through screening at the House of Assembly. Do you understand? He can appoint those ones without sending them to House of Assembly. But the commissioners must go through screening at the House of Assembly. So if you want your SSG to become part of the cabinet, you take that person to the...
So, Chief, which of the laws of Abia State has the governor run foul of by holding state executive meeting in Isialangwa?
The procedure is that government business is conducted in government house, particularly the executive council meeting. When you do government business at the wrong location, somebody can challenge you in court and nullify the proceedings. Those who made this our democratic ethos and governance principles did not envisage a situation where the state executive council, except there is usually a condition given. If we are at war. If we are at war, you can now go to anywhere and hold such a meeting. So, back to the review.
All right. Let us move on. I think you've been able to deal with the issue of health sector. But I also remember that the commissioner said by the end of this year, that's December, that's when they are supposed, to finish the 3 hospitals in various 3 senatorial zones. But let's just...
I am happy she will finish by the end of this year. It's not my problem. My problem is, what did the governor promise? I repeat again, and if you like, I can publish it. The governor continuously said, in my first 100 days. So I don't have any problem with the government. I am only measuring the governor against his promise and then comparing to what his predecessors in office did.
Okay. Now, Chief, let's talk about the probe panel, the judicial panel of inquiry on asset recovery and looted funds in Abia State. That particular panel is on. I think they are operating somewhere in the state. I've heard some of your colleagues, that you served with, and also a member of your party, the PDP, they said it is targeted at the government of Governor Okeze Ikpeazu, Honorable Commissioner and Chief of Abreba Kingdom. Now, when you visit some of the ministries now, a few days before the inauguration of Governor Alex Otti, you find out that some equipment were obviously missing. So if you're saying, if some of your members in the PDP are saying that this particular move is targeted at the former governor, what do you have to say in all this?
Number one, there are laws against stealing. Anybody who takes away equipment from government house illegally should be arrested according to the law. Correct? I don't have any problem with you going to recover such equipment. Nobody has the right to do that. It is very wrong. It's common thievery. Do you understand that? But why do those people think that you are targeting the administration of Ikpeazu? It's from your mouth, what you said. It's from the mouth of the panel head, what she said. Those who go to equity must go with clean hands. When you are setting up a panel and you are talking about your predecessor, condemning him, you have already decided guilty as charged. Why the panel now? And the person that is supposed to head the panel is also speaking in the same light. There is obvious bias. Because they are now working from answer to question. And it is what those people considered targeting. Secondly, Abia was not created in 2015. If you want to do an honest inquiry on the state of affairs in Abia State, why are you targeting the 2015 administration only? What about other administrations? Are you saying that those other administrations did nothing wrong? Are you saying that the problem of Abia and its solution started and ended between 2015 and 2023?
Probably because those administrations did not hand over to him.
Government is a continuum. Those administrations handed over to him if he does not know. Some of the debts he has been trumpeting, owed by Ikpeazu, came from those administrations. So they handed over to him the debts. They handed over assets to him. Some of the assets that he has been using, like the International Conference Center, was done by Ochendo. So Ochendo handed over to him. If you understand the concept of government continuity, you cannot say those people did not hand over to him. I'm sure you've never looked at it in this light. They did, because government is a continuum. If, for instance, one of the assets constructed by a former government maybe collapses and kills people, God forbid, and it was done before Ikpeazu, who are you holding responsible? Let me also say this. When you want to go into certain things, you must not be seen to be protecting certain people because of your personal interest. I am trying to verify a story I heard that under a previous government before Ikpeazu, that Dr. Alex Otti was a beneficiary of land allocation. I am trying to verify. That's why I'm not going to speak so much about it. So I'm asking myself, could it be his interest that is protected by not probing that previous administration? I am trying to verify the ownership structure of this place where you have Ogumabiri and the interest thereof to see what exactly is being protected.
Okay, so tell us, what do you think is being protected?
It will amount to rumor mongering until I have verified. I said, I am trying to verify.
No, because
ownership structure. Who and who got land there?
At Ogumabiri?
Bam.
The one close to Express.
Which Ogumabiri? Ogumabiri, Opera Square.
Okay.
Is that not what they call it?
Okay.
Mbukabia. Okay. The former Omo Central Market.
Okay.
So I'm trying to verify. If you want, let us also go through all the allocations done in Abia since Abia was created, or at least since 1999. So if people have interest in probing 2015, I am also trying to verify what happened to Modern Ceramics. How did that company get into bad debts? When Ikpeazu came on board, he paid 2 billion naira loan owed by Abia Poly. I am trying to verify who arranged that loan. Could it be why that person does not want to go back to before Ikpeazu?
No, Chief.
I am saying to you.
Yes, I really need you to
a
be
man
specific.
who has clear conscience, who is determined to do the right thing for the greater number of people of Abia State, will not target his predecessor because he doesn't like him. He will want to build institutions, processes, and procedures that will outlive him. He will target all of them. If at all he wants to do the right thing. What I see they want to do is to use the probe panel to gather information for propaganda purposes only. Propaganda only. because they are driven by propaganda. As we speak now, people keep saying, oh, it is not time to review Otti after 100 days is too small. But Otti is reviewing himself. He himself did first 60 days of Otti. We didn't do it. We were keeping quiet because we understand governance better. We wanted to give him at least 100 days. He did first 60 days of Otti. Now he's doing 100 days of Otti. Now he has funded people at Twitter a lot of money. Funding Twitter people. Funding Facebook people to publicize his projects. And when I see some of those projects, I feel bad.
Why?
Obey here that he commissioned was 80% done by Okezi Ikpeazu. You went to Obey here to commission. You never acknowledge Okezi Ikpeazu as having done 80%.
But you say government is a continuum.
Exactly.
Is
and that
anything
is why
wrong with if he completes that route?
Perfect. In fact, I applaud any effort to complete abandoned projects. But I'm saying, when you have done that, you must acknowledge that person. One day you will be former governor. It is certain you will be former governor. Anytime you enter that government house as governor, the first thing that should occur to you is one day I will be former governor. If you keep disrespecting your predecessor, you will certainly be disrespected.
Okay, Chief, you know when you said you've not confirmed, but we can as well help you. We are journalists. We can do investigative journalism that you people always want us to do.
I find that the journalists in Abia.
No, we will do that, but just tell us, give us a tip as regards to that structure, the land you talked about around the Opera Square.
I have said what I want to say. I sympathize with journalists in Abia. You have all been emasculated. Journalists were brought in from Lagos, and all of you were rendered redundant. You clearly do not know what is happening. It's only what they send out in press releases. And if any of you try to make inquiries, you are blacklisted and, more or less ostracized. Unfortunately, that is the making of a despot. Despotism starts from silencing opposing voices. If a leader is a Democrat, if a leader promised transparency, he doesn't need journalists for him to ask his commissioner for information at the end of the month to announce how much they got from FAC, to announce who the contractors are for his projects and how much the projects are worth. It took the PDP to force out the names of some of the contractors and force out the cost of some of the projects. Where were the journalists? I understand how you people are. All I can say to you journalists is help is on its way. We allowed them first 100 days, and now we are not going to abandon our state for anybody. Nobody owns Abia State. If you are given the opportunity to govern Abia State for any number of days, please, you must make sure that you do not do things in a manner that will engender problems for the people. We are not demanding too much. He himself verbalized transparency. As an opposition person, Dr. Otti assembled the most deadly propaganda machine ever in politics.
Chief,
why don't you want to verify it? Can I speak to it? Even the locations where they were staying,
you can.
who were being funded.
Just what I'm saying,
and
you have every right to
okay.
Hold on, Chief.
What he did is okay.
Yeah, Chief, what
he
I'm
was
saying
in the opposition.
Yeah.
It's
Chief,
perfectly good that he did it. If he didn't do that, let me tell you something. I don't know why you are afraid. If he didn't do that, some government officials would have been stupid. It is not one man that governs. Dr. Otti is in government. There are people working with him. He will not be everywhere. He doesn't know what they are doing right now. It is the opposition that will keep pointing at what is not being done correctly. When somebody was run over in Ohafia, you never heard the news until the opposition says something like this has happened. It should stop. That a convoy. See, don't be afraid of the consequence. Do the job of Abia. I am not worried that he did what he did. It was actually good. I know so many people that would have gone berserk if he didn't organize that level of opposition. But why is he afraid of us organizing the same level of opposition? My dear governor, if you are listening to me.
Have you been harassed because
if you are listening to me, my dear governor, we are going to organize a more deadly opposition scenario for you,
Chief,
similar to what
Chief,
you did.
Hold on. I really want us to, use temperate words while we are, making some submissions here. If you want to play opposition, I think it's allowed in any democratic situation, just like we have.
Temperate words.
Yeah,
Which
please.
wrong word
When you
did I
say
use?
deadly, it sounds so provocative.
Deadly is not human.
But that's
Deadly
not
opposition.
okay. So what we are saying now is,
Put words in context.
good, Chief. So you talked about allocation of land. It appears you are becoming so afraid or to mention more. Let us, explain to us more about that allocation of land somewhere around Opera.
I have told you what I have.
Are you also afraid, like journalists?
No, I can't be.
Okay, so tell us
My name
about.
is John Okikalo.
Right.
I am afraid of no human being. I have said to you that I have heard this thing that I'm going to verify.
Okay.
If I go further than that, what I am doing is rumor mongering.
All right. So
It's spreading falsehood.
Okay.
But once I verify and lay hands on what I want to see, I will share it publicly.
Okay.
And I will give you a copy.
Now, moving over to the ministry that you last supervised before as a member of the State Executive Council, that's the Trade and Investment Ministry. Another person is in place now, administering that particular ministry. What's your assessment so far?
I don't know him personally. I'll probably pass him on the road and not identify him. But from his looks and his actions, I think he's a measured person. I like him. I like it when you get to a job and you implement that job professionally. You don't allow minor interests, rumors, and personal bitterness, to obscure your vision of what needs to be done. Like I said, one of the things I'm happy about the Alex Otti administration is that he brought in new people to governance. And I give him kudos. I'm proud of him for doing that. You need fresh ideas in leadership. The Commissioner for Trade, the Commissioner for Information, they are part of the newness. Even my sister Ngozi, they are part of the newness. Giving them opportunity to serve opens their eyes to public sector management as against private sector management. In the private sector, you can be the Lord and King who will sign, sack, and who will determine who goes. You can, in fact, you are driven by profitability. But in the private sector, in the public sector, you consider the welfare and security of the people over and above every other thing. Instead of saving money, you would rather spend money to secure the people. So I am not deterred about what he's doing. As a personal rule, I have refrained from talking to any director, any official of that government, of the current Ministry of Trade and Investment, or current Ministry of Information. You can, I'm saying it on air, ask any director in Ministry of Trade or Ministry of Information that I, John Okikalo, has ever spoken to since we left office, including the permanent secretaries. Please expose me. Why am I doing that? I don't want my shadow to hover over my successor. I want him to carve his own path. I don't want him to do things the way I do them. I want him to do things the way he will want to do them. And I don't have anything to hide for me to be calling you to cover for me, don't cover for me. I issued a handover note to the permanent secretary, including a confidential document. I said, hand this over to the incoming commissioner, whoever he is. So I'm not going to be going around there. There's nothing I left there that I want to pick. No, there's nothing.
Okay, so now let's take a look at the civil service reforms. Just a few days after the governor was inaugurated, some permanent secretaries were suspended to give way probably for investigation as to what happened within those ministries. What's your take about the process and also the verification exercise that is ongoing? The government said that they have been steady, with payment of salary and pension ever since they were inaugurated, as against what it used to be when you were in government, Chief.
Thank you very much for asking those two questions. Your first question is about what?
The civil service reforms.
In this station, in this studio, Governor Alex Otti assured workers that he will not sack anybody. in this station, in this studio, probably sitting where I am sitting. He has reneged on that promise. That's number one. Number two, you keep hearing about ghost workers. There are no ghosts. You can have absentee workers, because workers are being paid with accounts linked to their BVN. No worker can receive double salary. It will be flagged in the system. Our system was computerized under the watch of Obi Noriaku. Our payment platform, they were computerized under the watch of Obi Noriaku. So you can't talk about ghosts, but you can talk about absentee workers. Now, when you want to reform, and you are telling me now that permanent secretaries were suspended, and you ask me about the process, there is no one of them that received a letter. You don't suspend permanent secretaries on air. The process is there for you to follow. There are civil service rules. Those rules are to be protected at all costs, because the civil service is supposed to be the custodian of continuity in government. You cannot wake up and announce on air that you have suspended permanent secretary without as much as even issuing a letter to tell them why they are being suspended. Because you know that if you issue that letter, that you will open yourself to litigations. That is corner government. Do you understand? Sometimes oversense no good. Some of those civil servants are the best trained in the country. Some of them came from old Imo states in those days. Yes, if you want to replace, you have now made somebody head of service. That person you made head of service was a beneficiary of command promotion. And that person was a deputy director or a director. And you allow 2 permanent secretaries to report to a director as head of service. What do you want to do? You want to destroy the civil service. We are saying that there are other ways you could have done it and still achieve the same result. Like following the process. For instance, if you want to remove the permanent secretaries from seat, you do an official letter detailing why that is necessary at this time. Continue to pay them unless what you mean by suspension is sack. And then, if you don't have any person senior to the HOS, you can then make her the HOS. But there are senior directors to her. Why did you leave them and went for her? Do you understand that? Civil service is about ranking. You are destroying the ranking. Do you understand? Because you are now asking senior people to report to a junior staff without even laying off those senior people.
But you just talked about the issue of command promotion.
Yes.
So if the woman or the HOS right now, benefited from that, what's wrong
to get to? I'm not worried about command promotion. Is normal. It's the prerogative of the governor. You understand? That wasn't the only such thing he issued, because it must be seen that when he employed his accountant general, she came from the private sector, and then you employed her. You must give command promotion for her to get to the level 16 that she is in, because the civil service rule says you are employed at level 8. So he himself, he's also issued command promotion. I'm not worried about the command promotion. I am worried that right now there are people senior to her in service that will necessarily report to her in discipline in service. It's wrong. The civil service thrives on order and discipline.
So it must be his senior first?
No, it must be
her senior, sorry.
It must be if you are going to the level of director, you don't want to pick another permanent secretary when you have 2 permanent secretaries still in service. It must be the most senior director in service. Because see, the HOS is not like other appointments. Others, you can say, are political appointments. So somebody that is coming from nowhere will become somebody. The HOS is a civil service appointment. It follows an order. The most senior will lead the rest.
But we've also heard that the position of a PAMSEC is somehow political, because civil service ends at the director cadre, right?
I am not sure of where that is coming from, because there was an attempt to General Onasanya report on the civil service. It was never implemented. You understand? There were recommendations made. The permanent secretary is the last position. And that is why they do it according to rank.
Does a permanent secretary have a particular level, say level 16?
That is the highest level.
But it doesn't have any grade level.
I don't know. I know that there is a grade level you should get to before you become a permanent secretary.
That should be the director.
No. After the directors have levels, there are directors on 16, there are directors on 17, and so on and so forth.
I know that in the States.
I know that there is a level you must get to before you can become a permanent secretary.
I know that, Chief, that in the state civil service, the director ends at level 16. And that should
no, it's not true.
For federal, it's 17.
We have level 17.
In the state civil service?
Yeah, level 17. That is why we say that those people should get to PAMSEC. Because once you get to 16, 17, you are qualified to be PAMSEC. Actually, 17 is the correct level for that.
Okay, now let's quickly talk about...
So, I am still speaking to the so-called reform. And I'm saying that recently I heard noise around sacked workers. They said those workers that Ikpazo backdated the appointment letter. And I'm saying right now that Ikpazo did not sign any appointment letter. Just like Otti has not signed any appointment letter. Governors don't sign appointment letter. The process is for a governor to issue a waiver for employment, and that waiver will go to Civil Service Commission. The Civil Service Commission will interview, vet, and hire. And of course, they are the ones that know where the vacancies are, and they are the ones that determine remuneration based on what they know from the process. When you say that the governor backdated appointment letter, you are being unfair to the governor. Because number one, if he issues a waiver today and the waiver gets to the Civil Service Commission, it is when they schedule that they will do the interview. And when they do the interview, they will appoint. Number two, you yourself as the governor of Abia State, you are issuing waivers. If you keep telling people that the problem is when they were employed, you are not being honest, because Ikpazo was governor till May 29, 2023, and he could validly perform all the functions of a governor throughout that period. And if what you want to do is actually seek and root out ghost workers, number one, are these people physically verifiable? Are their certificates physically verifiable? Are they Abia youths? Let me say this, Ginika. We were deliberate, intentional about the employment of Abia youths, because we saw something as at the NSAS protest. We realized that one of the solutions to such a problem would be to engage as many people as possible. And we did our mathematics and saw that they will only impact our wage bill marginally. Do you understand? So we sacrifice other areas so that we can accommodate that. And when they say we have not been paying them, they seem not to know that after Civil Service Commission has employed you, the processes might take as much as 2 months before you start receiving salary. In some cases, 3 months before you start receiving. But they will go back to the very day you were employed and pay you back.
All right.
So I want to appeal to the government to realize that this is the wrong time to lay off young people. You may have bought guns and vehicles for police to kill our people. What you are doing is to set up those young people to be killed by them. That's what you are doing, because
Chief,
they cannot die of hunger.
We need to pay some bills now.
Go ahead.
Yes, we need to pay some bills while we discuss other things. So we'll get back. It's still the platform, the pinnacle of all discussion. My guest is the former Commissioner for Information here in Abia State, also the former Commissioner for Trade and Investment, Chief John Okikalu. I said a lot, but let's take a breather now to pay some bills. When we come back, probably we'll open the phone line so you can interact with the former commissioner. Stay with us. All right, 08081826949 or 08116052949. Those are the numbers to get through to us and become part of the discussion we're having here with the former Honorable Commissioner for Trade and Investment here in Abia State, Chief John Otti Kalu. You can also send your SMS 090-651-0289. It is still the platform, the pinnacle of all discussion. We are still reviewing the 100 days in office of Governor Alex Otti's administration here in Abia State. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Genica.
Good morning, welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Oki.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you, sir. Well, my name is Mr. Chijoke from Bendel. Mr. Oki, I know all of us, we are Abians, and I believe every one of us has every right to contribute, also to criticize. But nevertheless, I want to tell you, first of all, Mr. Oki, I want you to understand that you are not in power again. PDP is an opposition now. So that when you are speaking, speak like...
Okay, Chijoke, hold on.
What I'm trying to say...
Just go ahead and ask your question. No, hold on, Chijoke. If I must allow you, then you must play by the rules. And the rule is that, please do not attack my guest. Go ahead, make your submission, and allow other people.
What I want to say is this. Mr. Oki, on this parliament, the same radio station, I called you on February, if I'm not mistaken, 15th of February or 16th. You are on this radio station. I asked you a question that we have a rumor that government of Abia State are employing people, and you denied it. You said nothing like that. Can I tell you that I have 5 people that you people employed and backdate their employment for backdate everything? I have 5 of them. They are begging me to take them to chief of staff.
All right.
Whether they can have.
Okay.
So what I'm trying to say is this.
He will respond to that.
To say is this. Lastly, the government of Alex Otti have started well. They have started to pay salary, to do all those things you people cannot do for 8 years. So why are we criticizing the government of Alex Otti? He has a vision.
Okay, thank you so much, Chijoke, for that.
Let me quickly respond to Chijoke because I think he lied against me. I couldn't have said we are not employing people because it won't be within my purview. As at February, it won't be within my purview to know what the Civil Service Commission is doing. And I will challenge him to play back the audio. If he can remember when it happened, then he should have some form of record. He can go back to Flu FM February and run that audio where he said I denied. That's number one. Because at that time, I was aware of the fact that they were still unprocessed waivers. Number two, Chijoke, again, is guilty of what he is discussing. He criticizes Tinubu, but he believes that Alex should not be criticized. And he said we are in the opposition. And he doesn't want us as the opposition to review the government. He wants us to sit down, look until things have gone bad, which is unfortunate. Number three, anybody, I have challenged Chijoke, please, let us for once be transparent. Bring those 5 people you said their employment letter was backdated. Run them via the media. If you don't like me to be there, please, let Flow FM video and their people say that they are observing, they are watching, they are recording. Let us record how and when this thing was backdated. At what point it was backdated. But I must again tell you that the Civil Service Commission is not government owned, as in not Ikpazo's commission. That's what I mean by not government owned. It is a government establishment. And they run independent of whoever is the governor. That commission must be in place even now. And I'm saying that whatever happened at the commission has nothing to do with Governor Ikpazo.
Okay, let's take another call now. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Good morning. Move away from your radio set.
Am I talking?
No, it's not true. Maybe you call us back. I can still hear a hold back over there. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, Chief Oki.
Good morning, sir.
I've carefully listened to you. My name is Chief Leonard. I'm calling from Aba.
Okay, go ahead.
I've carefully listened to you. First of all, I agree that any government that is in power needs to be checked by way of constructive criticism. Unfortunately, during the time of Okezi past, the needed consultative criticism did not come. What we were hearing was, oh yes, all is well. I quite appreciate that there should be constructive criticism this time around to enable the present government to do much better than what happened during the previous administration.
All right.
My question to you is this. Or there are, let me say, there are things I found out from your discussion. Yeah, you made mention of grade level 17 for directors in the state. Please, go and check well. Directors in the state, they are not giving grade level 17. Go and check well, and I'm sure. Secondly, that was how some of the lieutenants of Ibazu.
Okay, quickly, please, so that other people can contribute.
By using the jargon of call civil servant and non-call civil servant, I ask you, is there anywhere, both federal and state civil service, where you have call and non-call civil servant? It was you people that created it.
All right.
It's an embarrassment.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chief Leonard.
I have some questions.
Chief Leonard, that even the LSOT administration has separated the workers into core and the non-core.
Who are
right now, hold on. Right now, the parastatals are not receiving their salaries at the same time.
Okay, so if you are a worker in parastatal right now in Abia State, maybe you just drop a comment on our Facebook page or send us an SMS on 09065108-289. We need to authenticate what.
Yes, let us authenticate if they are receiving the same. If they are receiving their salary at the same time with the Ministry of Information, Ministry of Trade, and so on.
All right.
You will still have to see, even at the federal level, the salary structure of some of those parastatals distinct from that of the MDS. If you go to somewhere like, let me say, NCC, National Communication Commission, it is not an MDA. They have civil servants there. They are non-core. Their wage bill is even different in terms of allowances and other things that accrue to them. See, these are issues of governance that people don't understand. The first thing he said, the other part of what Chief Leonard said is that criticism is good. And I agree with him. See, those critics under our watch help the government much more than others. There will always be those who will support. There are those who are calling in to say, leave Alex Otti alone. There are those who are saying, no, he has not done well in this and this and this and that. The one saying he has not done well are doing better jobs than those who are shouting hallelujah.
Okay.
What government owes the people is when you say he is not doing well, the government will say this is what we have done and this is why we've done it.
All right.
That was what we did when we managed information. We never attacked anybody. We didn't arrest anybody. We didn't jail anybody. The people that keep referring to the case involving one lawyer in Aba must know that it was a personal matter between that lawyer and Dr. Okezi Ikpeazu, wherein he made criminal allegations that Ikpeazu went to India to swear oath, whereas Ikpeazu has never been to India. The lawyer said, I found this thing online. I wasn't the one that originated, but that is not the law. So nobody was ever persecuted because of his opinion under Ikpeazu.
Chief, I think we may have to bring you back because there are so much to talk about, and the Abians are really waiting to hear, from your own side as your position. But let me sincerely thank you, Chief John Oki Kalu, former commissioner here in Abia State. That's for information, trade, and investment. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I can see your supporting you.
My friends.
Your friends, okay. They are your friends and members of the People's Democratic Party. Thank you so much, Wandubo Maibreva, for coming.
Thank you for having me. The Abians should be assured that for the time that we are in the opposition, we will do the work of opposition. We will scrutinize everything. We will make sure that nobody blindfolds Abia. We will make sure that no emperor emerges in Abia. We will ensure that no despot will emerge from this state, that everything must be done on the table, not under the table. And when I come back, we are going to discuss that TSA plan. We are also going to discuss projects, because there is no single project started and completed by Alex Otti in 100 days. Whereas in 100 days, Ikpeazu took Obasanjo.
We'll look at all that. We'll look at all that when next you come on the show. Thank you so much, John Okikalu, for coming. And of course, opposition. Democracy in Nigeria guarantees that. So we'll always give you the voice to do that. Thank you so much. Sincere thanks to my producer, Samson. My name is Ginika Obo. Let's keep praying for Abia to become great. I'll see you again. Good morning.
The beginning of an era that feels just like yesterday.
I, Dr. Alex Otti, OFR, do solemnly swear that as the governor of Abia State, I will discharge my duties to the best of my ability.
The genesis of a new dawn.
By the end of this year, every outstanding salaries and pensions would have been decreased.
The administration of the governor of Abia State, Dr. Alex Otti, hit the 100 days mark on the 5th of September 2023.
I want to reassure you that we are going to run an open, transparent, and accountable government.
With great position comes great expectations. Join us for a special 100 days in office discussion. Time is 10 a.m. prompt. Exclusive to Flu 94.9 FM.